Hello everyone, myself Purushotham, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, MLRT. In this session, I am going to explain about interface concept. So this is the overview of this session. So in this session, I am going to explain what is an interface, implementing the interface, and some sample examples I am going to discuss now. Okay, so let's get started to this session now. So what is an interface? So interface is one type of class and it contains only abstract methods. Means interface here, it is one type of class, means it's not a class actually, but it's one type of class. Means how it is one type of class means for interfaces dot class file generation is possible. Okay, and it contains only abstract methods. It contains only abstract methods. As we know that the abstract method means a method if it contains only the declaration but not definition, so we can say that it is a abstract methods, means it's an incomplete method. So all interface methods are implicitly public and abstract. So in abstract class, a method if you want to declare with abstract, so compulsory we should declare with the abstract modifier, but in interface if you are declaring any method, so using abstract modifier is optional. If you want you can use, or if you want you can ignore. So, but still by default it is a public and abstract. Any method if you are declared within the interfaces, by default it is a public and abstract only. Okay. So, in other words, if you do not actually type the public and abstract modifiers method declaration, but the method still always a public and abstract, means no need to write what the public and abstract. So, by default if any method if you are declaring inside interfaces, by default it will take public and abstract only. So, for every interface the compiler will be generate the dot class files. So just like a normal classes, interface also it will create the dot class files. Means suppose in your class you have what the two interfaces, the two dot class file it will generate. In a program if you have what two classes and two interfaces, total 4 dot class file it will generate. Okay, so if you want you can see here. So here I am creating a folder like sample folder I am creating. Or else here I am creating a test folder. Now here I will create a notepad. Now, so I am creating a class. Now the class name is A, and I will create so interface B, and I will create one more interface C. Okay, so I will save my program. So here I am creating a class A, and I am creating interface B, and I will create one more interface. Now the interface name is a C. Now I will save my program. So a.java. I am going to compile my program now. I can see, so java c space file name a.java. Now if you observe here, so it is generated what 3 dot class files. You can see a dot class, b dot class, and c dot class. So A is a normal class only and it will generate the dot class file, and B and C are the interfaces. Even though these are interfaces, but still the compiler is generating the dot class files. Means interface also one type of the class only. So for every interface dot class file it will generate automatically by the compiler. So each and every interface by default abstract. Hence not possible to create an object. Means again, so interface is a, by default it is a abstract, means, so as we know that if it is abstract, so object creation, instantiation is not possible. So for interfaces, instantiation, object creation is also not possible here. Interface contains only abstract methods, means unimplemented methods. Okay. So interface contains only unimplemented methods, and if you want to write the complete methods inside interface, so it will throw the compile time error. So interfaces accepts only unimplemented methods, and so it contains only unimplemented methods. It contains only unimplemented methods means it contains only abstract methods. Abstract methods. So it contains only abstract methods. So that's why it is called what? 100% abstract class. Why it is called a 100% abstract class means this interface doesn't contain any complete methods, means any normal methods. It contains only unimplemented methods, only abstract methods. So that's why it is called what? 100% abstract class. But abstract class, normal abstract class is not 100% abstract class. Why means a normal abstract class contains both normal methods as well as abstract methods, but interface contains only unimplemented methods. So that's why it is a 100% abstract class. So interface giving the information about the functionality and services, and while hiding information and internal implementation. Means if you want to hide any functionality and if you want to hide a services to the any class, so simply use the interface concept, so that the any child class, if they are trying to implement this interface, so the child class is responsible to implement those what services and functionality. Now to provide the implementation of this abstract methods, so we have to use what? Implements keyword. Means if any class, if trying to use interface, so that class must be implement all the methods inside interface. So using implements keyword, we need to what? Override that. Means, okay, so this point I will explain the programmatically. So interface to interface, we can use what? Extends keyword, and interface to class compulsory we need to use what? Implements keyword. Means, so in interface I have, assume I have A, okay, and this is having one m1 method. Assume let's take void m1, and I want to implement this, like I will take a normal class implements A. Now the B is responsible to override these methods, okay, and the B is a normal class, and A is a interface. So class to interface we need to use what? Implements keyword, compulsory. Okay, so if you are trying to use extends keyword here instead of implements, and if you are trying to use extends keyword, it will throw error. But interface to interface we can use what? Extends keyword. Okay, that part we'll see soon. So for interface, inheritance concept is applicable. Okay, just now I explained. So interface to interface, inheritance concept is applicable, and you can use the extends keyword. Okay, so this point again I will explain the programmatically. And so how to define interface means, here we need to use what? Interface keyword. Interface is a keyword, compulsory, every character must be small case. Interface is a keyword, so compulsory every character must be small case. So using this interface keyword we can define what? Interface. Okay, so just like a what? Class naming convention, so we need to follow interface naming also. Okay, so suppose if you are taking an example, here I have what? Interface keyword and interface name. So whatever the rules we are following to declaring a class name, means a naming convention, the same rules we need to follow for interface also. Why means, as we know that interface is a one type of class. Example, so interface and demo. So demo is the interface name, and inside interface we can declare what? Methods. Now you can see here I declared a method here, and whenever you are declaring interface, usage of abstract modifier is optional. If you want, you can use abstract modifier for interface, and usage of abstract modifier for methods also optional. Even though if you are not writing abstract, so but still it is abstract only. By default automatically it is abstract only. So suppose if you take an example, here in interface demo, I have what, 3 methods like M1 method, M2 method and M3 method. If you observe these 3 methods, the method is having only the declaration. You can see here only the declaration part is there but no definition, and M2 also declaration is there, no definition. M3 also declaration is there and no definition. So here if you want, you can use abstract keyword or you can ignore here, but still a compiler automatically it will treat it as what, the public abstract only. So if you write wide M1 but still it will take what, the public abstract only. So internally it will treat like public abstract wide M1, and if wide M2 means public abstract wide M2 only. Okay. Now, so every variable, till now we have discussed interface and inside what, methods. Okay. Now what if I declare a variable inside interface? Now every variable in interface by default static final, public static final. By default every variable inside interface by default it's a public static final. So, and again the public static final also it is optional. If you want you can write, or if you want you can ignore, but still every variable by default it's a public static final only. Now you can see here I declared a variable inside interface and int I equals to 10. Now if you are not writing the public static final, but still it will consider the public static final only. Okay. So you declare int I equals to 10, but automatically it will treat it as what, the public static final int I equals to 10. Now here we need to remember one thing. So I is a final by default. So as we know that initialization of the final variable is a mandatory. So in interface, if you want to declare any variable, we should initialize what, variable. Okay, otherwise it will throw the compile time error. Why means by default every variable is a final variable. As we know that the final variable initializations are mandatory. So compulsory we should initialize, otherwise it will throw the compile time error. Okay. So now all these points now I explain the programmatically now. So I want to declare a interface. So use interface keyword here. So I am creating an interface keyword. Now the interface name is A. So any name you can take. So here I am taking what, A. Now you can declare any method here. So assume here I am declaring a void M1 method. I am declaring a M1 method. Now you can see here, even though if here I am not declaring with the abstract modifier, by default it will take what, abstract only. Okay, it doesn't generate any compile time error. Now for interface also, if you want you can use abstract keyword, and here also if you want you can use abstract keyword. So no problem, it doesn't generate any compile time error. Now see here, so it is not generating any error. If you want you can use, or if you want you can ignore here. Now any number of abstract methods you can take. Here I am taking the 2 abstract methods. Now who will implement these methods? Now this method is having only the declaration but not definition. Now who is responsible to override this method? Who will implement these methods means, so any class, like suppose here I am taking what, the B class. Now the class is a B here. Now if you observe here, A is interface and B is a class. Now the class to interface, so compulsory we need to use implements keyword. Okay, don't use extends keyword. If you are trying to use extends keyword, it will throw error. Now you can see here. Now the B is responsible to override all unimplemented methods inside interface. Means B is responsible to override this interface. Here you mentioned interface A. So how many methods are there? That many methods compulsory we should declare. So otherwise it will throw the compile time error. So how many methods are there means 2 methods are there. So M1 method and M2 method. So here I will write, so B class M1, and one more method is there, and so B class M2 method. Now, so is it possible to create object to the interface means? No. Okay, as we know that, so interface by default it is abstract. So it is also called what, 100% abstract class. So for 100% abstract class means object creation instantiation is not possible. Now you can see if you are trying to create object to the interface, so it will throw error. So A is abstract, even though if you are not declaring abstract modifier, but still it will take it as abstract keyword only, and it is abstract. Why? It contains abstract method, all unimplemented methods, so cannot be instantiated. Okay, now, but you can use this reference for what the child classes, like I want to refer like B. Okay, this is the possible. I am creating object, I am referring with what interface reference. Okay, this is the possible. Now A dot M1 method I am calling, or A dot M2 method if you want you can call. Okay, this is the possible. See here again I am telling you, so here we are not creating object to the interface, just we are using the reference to hold a child class object. Okay, that's it. Or else if you are confusing with this, just create object to the, create a reference to B also. Okay, B I will take, and B dot M1 and B dot M2. Now you will get the same result. You can see B class M1 and B class M2 we are getting. Now, so as I mentioned, in interface, if you are declaring any variable, like let's take example like I will declare a variable int I equals to some 10, and I want to access this variable inside M1. So here I am going to access this variable. You can access. Okay, if you run this one, you can see M1 I value equals to 10, it is a printing. So by default I value is a final. The final means a reassignment is not possible. So if you are trying to reassign this value, like now I am changing this I value here, and if you are trying to execute this one, and you will get error, cannot be assigned a final variable I. Means as we know that if any variable, if it is declared with a final, so modification means a further modification is not possible, the reassignment is not possible. So here it will throw what the compile time error. And one more thing, whenever you are declaring a variable inside interface, the compulsory initializations are mandatory. If you are not initializing a value, and if you are declaring a variable inside interface, and that will not allow. Okay, if you want, you can see here. So assignment is expected. Okay, so compulsory initialization is expected here. So otherwise it will not allow. Okay. And so as we know that interface is a I is a public static final. By default public static final means it is a static variable, final and static also. So how can we access the static members? Means as we know that by using class name we can access. So how can I access this value? Means I am going to use what, a dot I. So how I am accessing I here means, since I is a by default it's a public static final. Okay, so as we know that by using class name we can access this one. You can see here. So automatically we will get 10 here. So how I am accessing I variable by using a means, since I is a static, final static, public static final. And so interface to interface we can achieve what, inheritance. Means interface to interface we can use inheritance concept. Okay, so suppose if you take an example, here I have two interfaces, interface demo 1 and interface demo 2. And if you observe, interface demo 1, interface demo 2 are two different interfaces. Now I am going to use what, extends keyword here, and interface demo 1 means this becomes a parent class, this becomes a parent class, and this becomes a child class. So if you are using interface demo 2, so it is having two methods like M3 method and M4 method, and indirectly it is having method 1 and method 2. Means if you are using interface demo 2 here, how many methods we need to override? Means a total 4 methods we need to override. Why? Means here this interface is having the two methods, and this parent interface is having 2 more methods. So total how many methods we should override means 4 methods we should override. So otherwise it will throw the compile time error. Okay. So if you want, you can see this point also. I have interface. Now the interface name is a C. Now interface is having one more method, public, or else I will take, let's take void M3. Now these two interfaces are two individual interfaces. Now I will make the parent and child relation here. Now C becomes a child, A is a parent now. Now suppose if class B implements C, means total how many methods B should be override, means a total 3 methods should be override. Okay, so one method C is having M3 method as well as 2 methods of parent interface. Okay, so total 3 methods B should override. So compulsory M3 method also must be override. Otherwise, it will throw the compile time error. See interface M3 method, and this one M2 interface M2. I can see here I'm. If you want, you can call M3 also, it will work. Now A interface M2 and C interface M3. Means interface to interface, you can also use extends keyword. Inheritance concept is possible. Okay, so coming to the summary of the session. So in this session, I have covered what the interface definition. So as we know that interface means it is a one type of class, and we can declare what all unimplemented methods and all abstract methods inside interface. So interface also called what 100% abstract class. And so how to implement interface also we have seen. So using implements keyword, so we can implement all interface methods inside a child class. And so inheriting interface to interface also just now we have seen. So using extends keyword, interface to interface, we can achieve what inheritance. Okay, so that's about this session. Thank you.